Glossary. That's something we also need to touch on, is in a unit you're going to come across words and terms that they may not be familiar with. So take the time in that unit plan to keep a list of words that you will be using and what their definitions are, so that they can become familiar with that subject and really widen their vocabulary through that unit study. Reports. Kids usually do not like to do reports. So this is something where I'm not sure how much fun you can make it, but you can try. You can try different formats, like they're a newscaster reporting on a story, or they're interviewing somebody in one of their history lessons. They could be listing the steps to doing something or making a recipe. There's a lot of different ways they can do a report, and just try to be creative, although it's really hard to make a report fun for a lot of kids. You want to ask questions that engage the student. So who, what, when, why, where, how are just basic questions that you can formulate from the subject at hand to help your student to begin to discuss these topics with you. So that's just an idea for how to create dialogue with your student. You also want to keep in mind what is level appropriate to your student. With baseball, if you're dealing with a 12-year-old, you might be able to get into civil rights using Jackie Robinson. However, a younger student with history, you may just go on the early history of baseball and just, look at how the people looked through some black and white photos or whatever. Whatever you can think of that would be appropriate to their age level. And finally, there's the end of the unit, the big bang, the finale. This is where the kids put together the things that they've learned, and you can get kind of creative with this. You can have a field day, you could have a science fair, you could have take them to a baseball game, you could organize a baseball game with kids, you could have a party with their friends as baseball theme, you could have them give their report to the family. You could have movie night with a baseball-themed movie like Sandlot or something. And this could be a nice, fun way to say goodbye to that subject and get ready to introduce the next. I'm sure you're going to come up with a lot of your own ideas. This just gets the juices flowing. It starts you thinking along your subject, and when you start doing research, you'll find other things, and it just kind of gets the ball rolling for you. And I've just only spent a morning researching this theme on baseball, so I really didn't do a really thorough coverage of it. But in a morning, look at the stuff you can dig up and make a well-rounded unit. As long as you have your skeleton to fill in the details, it makes it pretty easy. Like I said, in a morning I was able to put this together and make use of the internet. Since this is going to be a computer generation, it's good for the kids to be able to start to get familiar with this. You might even want to include typing lessons regularly. And again, you don't have to do a unit every month or one after the other. You can use one unit a year as a special treat. You could structure your whole curriculum around one unit after the other. You could spend a week on a unit, you could spend a month on a unit. But as we go, you'll be able to get a feel for what your students' attention span is, how long it's comfortable for you to put into time into a unit, and some subjects may take more in-depth look than others. So as you go, you will kind of figure that out if this is something that works for you. And I hope it does, and I hope you have lots of fun with it. I'll try to think up some more ideas, and when I do, I'll try to share them. Thanks. Bye.